Roy, can you hear me, buddy?
I can indeed, my friend. How are you?
I'm pretty good.
We're finally here. A few false starts, but we're in.
Yeah, it was interesting. We were, yesterday I was streaming, working through some stuff, and suddenly I noticed that I had lost internet completely.
Wow.
I looked down and it's, 0 kilobits per second. I was like trying to I was trying to modify. I discovered because I was trying to modify one of the pieces up here in what we were building. I think it was the IDE spreadsheet we had just created. And it wasn't modifying, it was locked up. And then I look up and it says, oh, sorry, we're in the process of trying to connect. You're working offline right now. And I'm like, working offline? And I look down and see my OBS is at 0 kbs upload speed. And I was like, okay, well, it could be a couple things, but one of the things it could be was power outage at one of the stops between the business next door and us. And I knew that I didn't have a battery backup on it. So I drove to my local Costco, but actually 2 battery backups. And so now I have battery backup at every point along the way. So if there is a power outage in the future, we'll and internet's still there, we'll continue to stream. And I've got battery backup on my lights, so we won't go dark. So
cool.
That's what I did.
You are prepped and ready.
Yeah, I'm prepped and ready. Let's get some music going. Let us know about the volume levels here. We've been making some adjustments to, yeah, in fact, my levels look low actually to me right now. Does it sound good to you, Rory? My audio?
Sounds good here, yeah.
Interesting. I wonder what happens. I'm going to make a switch over here and see what happens. Let me know. What is that? Is that better or worse? Is that worse? All right.
I can hear you. The music's fairly loud over you, though, was what it was.
All right, let me turn the music down so you can't hear it. Now the music's down, right? You can't hear it?
I can't hear the music now.
Okay, check. So compare this.
You are significantly more quiet in the second version.
What if I crank up the volume on that, though? Now how does it sound?
Now you are very... your volume is fine. I can hear you plenty good. And there is none of that irritating static that we've had.
Oh, okay. All right, cool. So that's good. Maybe we have fixed it. All right, we're going to keep going.
Cool.
Let us know in the chat room, kids, too, as well, if we are... if there is something that we
Roller
can do.
SS said that you were low, but perhaps Roller, has that been fixed now?
Yeah, let me know if that's been fixed. I can also independently crank my mic up. If I still sound low, I'm going to crank it up a bit. And Roy, maybe do me a favor. Listen in. Do you have a pair of headphones? You can listen into our stream live. And just from time to time, give me some adjustment, feedback on that. Can you do that for me? Mm-hmm. Okay, cool. That's how we're moving forward. Okay. So I opened this up. This is our new folder, our new sheet. I think we added this after you left yesterday. It's the IDE sheet. We moved the templates over, and I created a new one called Shortcuts. Okay.
You were just starting to create these sheets as I was having to leave.
Yeah, and then I died somewhere in the middle, and I remember all I was thinking of is go get a battery backup. So I don't know if I think the code compiles, but I'm not sure.
Ship it.
That's all it does. Let's build here and see what happens. See if we can get a build.
Yeah.
Build succeeded. All right.
A good first step. That's
it right there. I think I can get that up there for you. Build succeeded. You have to trust me. It says build. There you go. Build succeeded. Okay. Then let's run it and see what we get. Audio spot on, says Codebase Alpha. Codebase Alpha's here. I didn't see Codebase Alpha's intro. Fanfare.
No. Excuse me.
All right. So there's something we have to restart. Let's go through the restart phase here because I want to be able to hear. Uh-oh, hold on. I got 2 of those up. Is that right? All right. Hold on. I'm going to go through the restart phase here. We're going to refresh all of the pieces here. We had to do that just before we're coming in. Let's close that down. It won't take too long because I've got buttons for most of this stuff right now.
Cool.
Let's see. What time is it right now? It's 2 seconds after. That means we're not saving, so I can kill that. And that's killed. And let's start everything up again here. We're going to come in and we're going to say, there's Mr. Announcer Bot starting up right there. That's Overlay Manager's coming in next. There's Overlay Manager right there. And now this guy we can just run like this, I think. I think you're about to get your fanfare next time you say something here. Let's initialize planar data. Let's see if that works. Oh wait, I got to do, hold on. I need to do, don't do it yet. I need to take all my layers and refresh them. One, drone game, refresh the drone game. There's the music. We'll get the music back in a second. Dice, front layer. Here comes the front layer, refreshing. And the dice layer, refreshing. And that plus, did I get it? Yeah, there it is. Okay. That plus this button right there, initializing player data. Wait, I didn't see the front overlay though. Let me try the front overlay one more time. I didn't see the text for it. Oh no, it did refresh because it's drawing the name tags and those are all different. Okay, so now we should be able to hear, we should be able to see her fanfares, is my sense. Just turn on the music. There you go.
Did you say you had music? Because I hear the music. More sound.
I have the volume down.
There we go.
Awesome.
That's
Isn't it? Are we better? Are we in? We're here.
Yeah.
That didn't take too long. We're getting better at, you know, doing a full reset of all the software and systems. I would actually love the ability to, you know, hit one button and just have that one button inside of OBS refresh these 4 overlays, right? Wouldn't that be
nice.
cool? That would be awesome. I don't know if that's possible or not yet, but, you know, that's what I like to do. What do you think, Fred? Yeah? Would that be good? Fred says yes. Fred is always so enthusiastic. All right, so here's what we were working on yesterday. We're over here in the code editor. Let's jump in. You know, we can kind of look at these different kinds of things. These are all features here. These are features. And so rage resistant on activate adds damage resistance. So when we go into rage, we have resistance to all forms of damage, apparently. That's what's going on there. And on deactivate, recalculate resistance is what's going on there. So cool.
Mm-hmm.
What other things are going on in this world? Unarmored defense. Said, okay, cool. So yeah, that's kind of cool stuff. So there we can see the code that's going on in each one of these pieces. We were working on shortcuts yesterday and loading them up when the stream died. And we were, I think, just about to finish testing them, I think. And so here we are. We couldn't do a slash key here, but because what we're doing is we're doing something pretty clever, actually. I don't know if you were here for this, Roy. I think you might have left when I made this, what appeared to be a compromise, because I said, you know, the compromise is, well, look, I'd like to just say the key is that. Right, that's the key I want to, you know, show.
That'd be nice.
But I went with the compromise of typing in the word divide. The reason I did is because that's the name of the enum inside the key enumeration.
Yeah.
And what we're doing is we changed it. I think we did this after you left, Roy. We made it so that when Google Sheets loads up the data in here, it checks to see the property type. And if the property type is an enum, I bet if I look for the word enum here, will I find it as something? Yeah, if it's an enum, I think we call set, yeah, there you go. If the property is an enum, then we call set enum value. And so the property, we're talking about the property of the object, right, that we're mapping this to, right? The mapping is from the name of the property or an attribute that we put on it. So, so if we go to, let's see, we're bringing in shortcut keys here. This is shortcut keys we're bringing in. So let's go find that. Shortcut, is it a shortcut binding? Is that what I'm calling this? There it is right there. So we set up the bindings. I know this looks like kind of like, wow, what kind of magical stuff's going on here. This sounds like something I should better learn, but this is just for the Google helper that we created, right? So we created something that would make it very easy for us to serialize classes to and from a Google Sheets document. Yep. And all we have to do is, so this is our shortcut binding, all we have to do is just mark each property with the column attribute. And if the property name is different from the column name, we specify the column name in the column keyword.
Yeah.
Here.
So by default, it's all just a one-to-one match, but there are some exceptional cases where we don't want to or can't use the same phrase.
Right.
So we have our little override in place in order to just allow us to make the connection anyway.
Yeah. And so now what's cool about this, though, is we've now added the ability, just by not changing any code at all, really, at least in our consumption code, to be able to stream in this right here. Just stream in to serialize enums, right?
Yep.
The only thing, though, I haven't tested, I think it's going to fail, is, let's go back over to where we were. Google Sheets. I'm pretty sure it's going to fail is if we do something like this. In modifiers, I say Control or Alt. That I think is not going to work. I'm pretty sure that's not going to work. So Control Alt / is the piece in there. Let's see if we can trigger that. We're not running. Are we running? Oh, we are running. Okay, cool. So I need to get a reload of that. Reload templates and shortcuts. That's this button right here. I'm going to click on that. And good, we're here. What's the value is divide, no worries. Here we go. Control Alt. I think this is going to fail.
Okay.
Setting value. I think parse is going to fail on that. Yeah, there we go. Control Alt is not found. So what we want to do is we want to look for, I think, OR symbols and break it up and do a plus equals on this is what I think we want to do. So we want to add some coding here. So let's say split. And we're going to split on that character. Hit my key to declare that. That's going to be our parts, like this. Then let's iterate through those parts. For each part in there. And we're going to say that. Let's bring execution up here. What's my deal? It's probably because I was in the middle. Adding a for each statement around an active statement. Yeah, okay, fine. So let's copy. Let's do this. You know, you'd think that it would be able to solve it, get its way out of this, but it's all right. We'll put it up there, and now I'm going to paste that back in, and then I'm going to
switch that value string on the right for the word part.
Oh, thanks so much. I would have missed that, Rory. Great pair programming. And what's my problem here, though? I don't understand. Is this...
value's an object, so can you plus equals it?
Oh, you're right. That's the problem. Value.
That's better. Yeah.
Value.
Because enums are inherently numeric.
And what's my problem here, though? Hold on. It's still, I think, is it still gonna, it's still saying that my use of unidentified local variable value? Okay, sure. Hold on. Okay. All right, now, still, what's wrong with this line? Oh, it's an int. It's not an int over here. Is what it is. So let's type in CI like that to get it to an int. Is that going to be it? What's my problem?
Is it because you're in edit and continue, you're not allowed to change the type of value and it still thinks it's an object even though you have changed the code?
Yeah, I think that might be it. Oh no,
it was just gone away.
Yeah, they're old errors. They all went away as soon as I moved it up there. Okay, cool. All right, so there's my parts. Oops, I need to say trim. I want to get rid of all those, so the white space on either side. And there's my 1, and there's my 4 that I just added, and it looks like that's all working. Okay, cool. So that means we keep running, and now let's see if that works now. So that means, what did I say? Control, Alt, and the /. Control, Alt, and that's going to do a selection embedding. So if the selection is not commented, Control Alt plus divide. Let's see if it works. Control Alt and divide does not work. But I think I know why. I don't think it has anything to do with. Make sure I'm in the focus here. Control Alt divide. Oh, maybe it is going to work. Wait. Index was out of range. Parameter list. Oh, oops. That's weird. Yeah, this is the last code I wrote. I say oops on this show like, you know. Oops. I do that a lot. Oopsie. That's what I say. Sometimes I say sorry. Yeah, sometimes. Sometimes that happens on the show. Okay, yeah. So this is it's all right, to be fair. I was like, you know, coding and losing the stream here. All right, we're going to get this. So this is also pretty cool what we did here. You know, I'm not sure if there's a smarter way of doing this, but basically I need create instance to take multiple parameters. I wanted to take my parameter list coming from here. Where is it? Wait, where are those parameters coming from? The type to create is the type. Code editor command. Oh, it's these right here. It's these. And I wanted to be able to support having a comma delimited list of parameters. And so in case I need to send more than one parameter to an existing command. That's what I wanted to do. Okay. And so let's reactivate that.
It's a real shame, actually. Looking at the code structure you've got there, I know TypeScript, which we are not coding in at this precise moment, has a facility to unwrap a parameter list like that, so an array, into multiple things that are passed to successive arguments.
I think C# might have it as well.
Doesn't C#, if not already, is going to? Which version of C# are we running there?
Well, I think you can do it maybe in a different way, and I'm not exactly sure how to do it. Let's try this. Passing generic list to a params as a params argument. Maybe that's it, because I know there's a way to do this if I really go low level in reflection and kind of do it myself. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
But I'd love it.
This is the triple dot syntax in TypeScript. I think you go triple dot my array, and it effectively treats it as if you passed the elements of that array individually. Codebase Alpha suggests tuple deconstruction, maybe?
Wait, what? Tuple?
Yeah, use tuple deconstruction, maybe.
What is that? I think this is not going to help us. I need to essentially, basically I've got a params. The problem is create instance doesn't take a list of parameters. It takes
it takes two lists.
Well, you know what though? I could create this. I could make this call. The call I was using is, I think this one right here.
C#8 has the triple dot operator. I lost track. What version is actually out yet? Do we have C#8 available? Or is it one of these install an SDK and special incantation before you can use it? I thought it was maybe tied to .NET Core 3 at some point. but I don't think that was the long-term plan for it.
I'm not seeing the triple dot described here.
Codebase Alpha says it is available.
But I'm not seeing it here, I guess. Is it something else? Is it...
Yeah, so what do we call this facility? I guess is a good question.
I do a search for triple dots here on what's new in C# 8, and I'm getting that. So maybe if you can get us a link, if you can find something out there, Codebase Alpha, let me know. We'll go grab that C# 8 and install it if we don't have it already installed. Okay. So, all right. So anyway, right now we can support up to 4 different parameters up here, which is, my friend Codebase. I mean, not Codebase, Coding Gorilla. Coding Gorilla, there it is. Look at that code. You can't touch it. It's perfect. Talking about the range operator. What's that? Let me go look at that.
I'm not sure this is the same thing. Welcome, everybody. I love that. Jetsam says, I'll get the gorilla off the building.
The range operator is a double dot. It's a double dot.
So the range operator is, amongst other things, useful for passing to an array. So you can go ... 4, and what it means is everything from the start up to and including the 4th element, right?
Nice.
And it's good for sub-arraying, if you like.
I love it. Yeah, that I think is not going to help us.
Same as this.
Yeah, we're trying to pass in params, is what we're trying to do. So I think there's a way to do it. Look, it's one of these things where right now I've only got 1 parameter, and if I ever need more than 4, I could change the code. So it's not too big of a deal, but it's like it feels like there should be a better way than code that looks like this, though.
Yeah, so we've got an array of things, and we'd like to just say, well, however many of these there are, let's just unpack them and pass them individually to this method.
Yeah.
And as I say, TypeScript has a triple dot sort of casting of the array to the individual's style of doing that. I don't know whether C# does yet, or indeed if what it's called.
I might be able to. The whole time we're searching for something new, or that we don't know about, I wonder if I can just do this. I think I can do this, actually.
Are you saying there's an existing overload that just works that way?
Yeah, I think this will just work. Well, maybe not.
That would be even easier.
That constructor's not found. Okay, never mind then. What if I did... let's go back to where we were. Okay. All right, we're just going to do this. I'm just going to run it from here. And wait a second. Did I do a Control-Alt/? I did. I just didn't have... okay, hold on. /Control-Alt/. There we go. Okay, so it does work. I just didn't have focus before. Sorry, that was like 10-minute, edit, test, compile cycle. But the cool thing is that now we know that works. The modifiers now work.
Yes.
Control and Alt. I'm going to delete that. I'm going to come over here, reload the shortcuts and templates, and then I'm going to come in here and do a slash and unslash, just one-handed, which is what I want to do. All right,
potentially, there's just one thing I want to ask about, just in case this becomes an issue for other things. I don't think it will here. On your US keyboard, well, I have a UK keyboard in front of me. You have a slash key down, I'm presuming near the shift on the right-hand side.
Yeah, I do.
Okay. What is the shifted key? Is it a question mark?
Yes, it is.
Okay, so here's my question. I thought there was an OEM question mark. In other words, if you had, for some reason, a divide with a shift modifier, would it ever trigger? Or would you actually have to look for the OEM question?
No, I don't think it... are you asking me if I hit shift, if I type in the question mark, will it trigger right now? Like shift?
No, I'm saying that if
key?
the shortcut were different, and instead of Control-Alt divide, you had shift divide, and you didn't know any better, would that be capable of being triggered? Or would you actually, should you be looking for an unmodified OEM question?
Oh, I think I see what you're saying. Yeah, I don't think there's an OEM question. I think there's only a shift divide, is my sense. That's kind of what I think is going on. But I guess I could come in here and type in shift, like this. And am I following your question correctly?
Yeah.
Okay.
So my question is, does that shortcut now work at all?
I think it will. Did I reload them? It looks like I reloaded them. All right, so over here, shift. Yeah, so
Okay,
that was
does work.
that was a question mark. But now, so now I can only add a question mark if I have no selection. So like if I'm here and I type it in there, I got it, right? But if I select the whole thing and shift, then it does that instead.
It's not
So-
a particularly sensible shortcut anyway. The slash or the divide
Right.
by itself is a bit better.
I want to change for a second because I've done this multi-line selection is true. I want to see if we can handle this. Is what I want to see. Because I noticed problems before and it was influencing how I was doing this, how I was writing. I noticed idiosyncratic behavior in the expression engine, and so just to be totally careful, I was doing this, right? And it seemed to be a workaround, right? But notice on the right side, I'm not doing that. It seems to be working. So I'm going to try this because it's easier to read. Let's reload those and see if there's no change in behavior. I'm hoping there's no change in behavior. So comment, yeah, it's still working. Nice. So that would seem to imply that I don't need to do that in the other parts of the code. All right, next, let's go to our list and see what we've got here. Context. We don't have context for templates yet, but we did add shortcuts. Okay, IDE Google Sheet for shortcuts. We did this right here. We did this. Look at this. I have context for templates up twice. I think it's really on my list of things to do. IDE,
Running out of other things that need to be done.
IDE Google Sheet for shortcuts. We've got that. And we also can add the piece that we did, which is shortcut context. Shortcut context. And yesterday we also added enum serialization, automatic enum serialization with support for the OR operator.
Yep.
Right? That's
a
not bad.
good looking list.
Yeah, it's not bad. We're now down to context for templates, and there's something else I want to do, which is, let me bring up the original spreadsheet here. So in here, there's still some smart things that we can do. But in here we have procs, which are essentially like macro scripts kind of thing. When we see this, we go execute this instead. So tell DM how many meteors are coming. And then this is just, hey, if num meter to send is 1, we tell the DM ready to send 1 meteor. Else if it's num meters to send is 2, then we say ready to send 2 meteors. So that's one of two
It's a nice
options.
way to tidy up an otherwise piece of complex code by hiding it behind a facade, just like in normal programming.
Right. So we have procs and we have functions. We have these two. These could both show up on separate lists in here, right? So inside here, I could have a list of procs and a list of functions, plus the ability to add them, right? I don't think I have added the ability to add items yet. We talked about it in a previous show. So our Google Sheets serialization engine, while awesome as it is really expects all the added items to start in the spreadsheet. We don't have the ability to like add a new spell from the IDE, but we might change that. We might be playing with that, especially when we're talking about these procs and the functions, because they're both potentially, they can save a lot of things here. They save a lot of time. The other piece that we have are properties, and here we're using more of these. And these should be able to show up in code completion. But they don't. We don't have any code completion on our properties. Also, the properties don't say what the expression type is.
True.
And if we could tell what this type of it was, then we could decide which of the properties were valuable there in that moment.
Yes, we already have that for some other parts of the system. We can determine that the return values from methods and from completion lists is maybe an int or an enum. So to have that from properties, it enhances our ability to provide a very similar kind of facility again in that code completion.
Yeah, so I think I want to hunt that down. I want to go find a property DTO. That's going to get me, I think, in there. Name and expression. Okay, so that's those two pieces there. I'm going to add a new element here called type, like that. And let's move this off to the side so we can see here. And we're gonna just specify the type on all of these. Bool. That's a bool. This is a table. Tables are almost always returning numeric data, but they could also return string data.
You kind of want table of T with the ability to specify T.
What if I created my own type like TypeScript does, where I create a number that could be converted? If it's a number, it comes back as a number. It could be assignable to either a number or a string. You see what I'm saying? Or I could do that, or I could say well, no, it could be, it could be number. I could also do this, number or string.
Yeah, that would be the TypeScript's way of doing things.
And let's do this maybe. Oh, it is? You're right, it is. Let's do that. Let's do that, number or string. Take that
Now,
off.
this is C# based stuff, right? Our actual expressions are typically C#.
Yep.
Is that fair to say? So should we be using int rather than number, or do you want to generalize, or do you want to pick a different variant? I don't know.
I could do double. I could do double or string. Whoops.
The only thing is we've got to be a little careful if we go into monetary values, at which point decimal tends to be a better option. But for general counting, yeah.
Fine. I can do that. But basically, I don't think so. I think I'm gonna. Sorry, Roy. The reason why is because this is for our code completion tooltips suggestions. And
right, yes.
and what I'm planning to do, even though this says bool and string and number, is I'm going to come in and I'm going to make an enum that has these types in it. So maybe I'll come in here and we'll differentiate them at least by case. Here, so I'll say that's Boolean, that's Boolean. I could do this like that. Number or text. It's going to be number. That's a Boolean. I think I want to make this lowercase. All right, that's what I'm going to do. That's there. This one's a number. Yeah, this is feeling better to me. Okay, number.
It's nice in a way because it is abstracted away from the C#, so you know it requires attention to figure it out, rather than being able to slip into that mindset of assuming that it already knows.
Sorry, Roy, I totally was not listening to what you were saying. Can you say that one more time for me?
I was saying it's actually a good idea in this case to abstract the type to be something that very definitely isn't C#. It's quite clear if you look at this list that it's not C#.
Yeah.
Therefore, it's very clear that it needs a level of attention, and therefore there's a less chance of making mistakes through assumption.
Yeah, I agree with you. I just want to bring up my tables here and see if I got any data in the tables that's different from a number or text. Like, do I have any Booleans, is my question. Just numbers, text, number, text. These are all the D&D tables here. Only numbers there.
I think it's relatively safe. You've got a dice there.
That's just text. That's going to be text, right?
Okay, fair enough, yeah. It's a relatively safe bet that there aren't Booleans, because it's not usually the case that you can't do something. It's that you more or less have level 0 capability of doing it. That's the kind of logic.
Yeah, and so that's it. That was it. Yeah, so it's number or text for tables. That's what's coming back from there. We got Boolean here, Boolean there, Boolean. These are all text right here. Okay, cool.
Nice.
Next, it's going to add a new property. So this is where we see how cool things are. The property DTO though, hold on, it doesn't have the column. Are we using this at all? We may not be using this. Oh, yeah, okay. So we're using it like this. This is the old style of using it, is what we were doing with that. Okay, because that was the old code we were converting over. All right, so let's go in here. We're going to now create a new enum, and we're going to call it a expression type, is the name of the enum. And it can be a Boolean, it can be a number, it can be text, and maybe it can be also unknown or none, unknown.
Hmm.
What do you think? Unknown, unspecified.
Unknown is fine. Yeah.
I think that's 0. Let's make this one 1. I'm going to, I got these green underlines. They're grossing me out. That's 2, and that's a 4. So we can have multiple combos there.
Yeah.
Let's create a new property of expression type, call it type. So that's going to match to, where was I? I was not in there. I was
on
here.
New column type.
Yeah, right there. It's going to match to that new column. And because it's an enum, this should all work. It should all be loaded if the code we just wrote works. It may not be from this access from the same call stack. There's a chance that might not happen, in which case we're going to go find that bug and fix it. But for now, we'll move type to file on that. There's my property VTO. I think I want to just run it. And, oh wait, we got to convert this over to my actual property though. So let's go see where we do that conversion. Oh, we don't convert it. It looks like we are. So we just evaluate it right there, and we return that. So if we find that variable name out in our properties, then we go bring it back. Okay. All right, so let's see. I guess we could set a breakpoint. It's not really the right place, I suppose, but we can set a breakpoint here. I don't think actually that's where I want to do it. Hold on. I think I wanted to set my breakpoint here after load data, and then we'll go look at them and see if they are all as we're expecting them to be. All right, we're up. I'm clicking initialize player data. That should get us out over here. Does it? Yep, it does. Okay. There's my properties. The type is a Boolean. That looks like it's working.
Yeah.
We had type here is 6. So that's
a
combo.
4 and a 2.
Yeah.
So number and text.
Yeah, that's what I think it is. Right here. Number and text. You're right. There it is. There's our 6. So, okay. So that looks like that's working. All right, continue. All right, next step. So that wasn't too hard. Next step, we want to...
Don't we need to have a flags attribute on that so that parts of the system will understand that it can be an amalgamation?
Yes, let's do that.
In fact, that might have changed the quick watch to show us the combination. I'm not 100% sure though.
Let's see if it does. We'll do that. Yeah, I remember reading a while back about the flags attribute, and the conclusion was that it's not actually needed to make this work for, I think, the way you want to, but it's
not required.
It does. It's a separate thing, and I forget what the separate thing that it actually does is. Anybody in the chat room knows, let us know. What does that flags attribute do? What is the specific functionality of it? Okay, there we go. Let's go check the watch and see what it looks like. Yep, look at that, Rory. That's one thing the flags attribute does. Oh.
That's definitely very helpful, isn't it?
Yeah. Okay. Next, we need to... Oh, interesting. So the downside to automatically saving, Rory, is that if I'm demoing like this,
when testing stuff, we can break everything.
don't actually leave with changes I don't want to save, because it's going to save those. That's what just happened. Okay, so now what we need to do is we need to, when we're at a place like here, float player text. This is going to accept some text. Here, let's come down here. We're going to say float player text, enter, and text to show. Now I'm going to type in the letter A. At this point, we want to get everything that returns a text inside of here. So that starts with an A. We have nothing that starts with an A, but we got a couple B's in here. We want to be able to see these. So if I type in B, I want to see Barbarian Rage Damage is what I want to say. Well, actually, oh, you know what? Hold on, though. Rages per rest. These are numbers here. I was thinking about the table. The table access essentially is returning a string.
Right.
These are actual numbers here. These are numbers. Pretty sure. The challenge rating can get to 1/2, but I'm pretty sure we turn that into a number when it comes back.
So the actual values, the types there are, what you do to determine what they should be is you look at the second parameter to the sorry, is it the second? Yeah, the second parameter. So you're getting rage damage or rages or wild shape CR, and these are all numbers.
Yes.
Those are the values coming out of the table.
Yes.
If you had a name property in the table, maybe you had a suffix as your levels go up, sir so and so, king so and so, that would be a string, or sorry, text variant of the same thing.
Yes. So this is what Roy's talking about. It's the second parameter. That's the column number we're looking up at. Now, hard to tell here, but if we had table, if we did it over here, if we typed in table, we did that, then it's asking name of the table to look up. So we could say, let's go into the Druid table, and then comma, the column of to retrieve the value from. By the way, we should be IntelliSensing this too, right? List out the columns. But that's the value we're going to retrieve the value from. The column we're going to retrieve the value from. That's what Rory is talking about right there.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So let me go back to reviewing the types here.
For our existing ones, these are pretty much all sneak attack.
Damage
is numeric. Sorcery points is definitely numeric.
Yeah. So these are all numbers. Okay. So cool. So we've got that, and we have support for the OR operator because it's an enum. So in general, we're in really good shape here. I love that. Let's move that over a little bit to there. Okay. All right. So that's the data that's going to come in on our next load. All right. So we need to go find where we're filling that up. Now, one of the things I did this morning, just before we started, is I took the mess that was inside, because we started this as it was a template expansion project. And we started getting files all over the place and it was poorly organized. So I took like a few minutes, and I actually find that this is one of the, this is kind of an important thing to do. It's kind of like a cleaning house thing. It's just a simple like sweeping the floor kind of activity. And it's the act of renaming and the act of organizing, putting things where they belong. And it only took like, I want to say 4 minutes to put these in the right places, right? Maybe 6 minutes tops, and give them good names. And so I've got now a folder called IDE, and this is where all our tooling that we've built for this editor is going to be. And inside of there, I've got code completion, code templates, commands. So these are things we can bind to a shortcut. I've got shortcuts, I've got context, and I've got core stuff for the system right here. So just so the text document extensions are in there, keyboard modifiers, there's that enum, and just these code utils, like is it an identifier character? So we've just got some consolidated items there. Shortcuts only has one file in it, shortcut binding, and that's what we were looking at here at the beginning. It's mostly a DTO, a data transfer object right there that you can see, and the ability to execute it. And by executing, what it does is it goes to the activator, create instance, returns that for the command property, so that when we call command.execute, it's actually built and ready to go. Looks like execute command. This was left over from an edit and continue session. So I'll need to delete that. I'm going to set a marker around that selection to remind me. We'll keep going. Context has only one that we've added so far, multi-line selection. And it returns true if the selection is both multi-line and every line starts with this. You know what? We can make, let's demonstrate this right now. I'm going to set a breakpoint here. Let's /key. Let's do this instead. Breakpoint there. Run. Okay, so we're returning false because the line does not start with it. Okay, slash key again, and we don't return anything because it was actually that was the case. Slash key one more time. There we go. It's not multi-line selection, so we return false. Let's add an empty line in here. Let's select the whole thing. Slash key one more time. And now we're returning false because the line is empty.
Yes.
So what I want to do now is I want to change this because I want to support empty lines. And I want to say if line text, I want to, if it's not an empty line or white space.
Yes.
Is what I want to do. And the line does not start with it, then I want to return false. So let's come back up here.
Does the editor preserve white space if there's nothing else on there? So if you type a bunch of spaces, hit carriage return, will they retain? Do you need to trim that value before the test?
They are retained. What's also interesting is when I hit enter here, they're added to this line here. I've got 3 spaces here. If I go to the beginning and end, home, end, home. So they're retained. All right, so now if I select all of this, slash, good. But now when I do slash, it should, oh wait, hold on.
It'll behave the same. We need to have no comments in those intervening lines for a test.
Yeah, now I wanted to hit slash, and there you go. So that's what's going on. Now we can also do this too. If it's an empty line, we don't add these to it. I don't know if I want to do that or not. But that's kind of what that kind of shows and demonstrates what's going on with the shortcut bindings a little bit. So the shortcut binding is here, and this is just all data driven right now. So we switch this over. We used to be adding these automatically. Now it's all data driven. It's coming over from this sheet right here. So these are my 2 commands. This is the command I'm executing. This is the context that determines whether that is true or not. The significant cool thing about this is I can hit the divide key and it'll selection embed if I have a multi-line selection and it's not already commented, and selection embedding, it'll pass in this is a parameter, meaning it'll start that at the beginning of every line, which means I could change this very easily to do that at the very beginning, right? Yeah. That's what I want to do. And maybe my trim, do the same thing like that, come in here, and that's so easy. Reload the shortcuts and templates, come in here, slash key. See what I'm talking about?
Yeah, so it knows that this is the prefix, which can be both added and explicitly removed as well. Exactly.
That's the power of having this to be data-driven and totally decoupled, right? That's what's going on there, right? All of these pieces. So to add something new and to call a particular command, I can do that. Super powerful. That's what we have in CodeRush, and it's really powerful stuff. Okay, let's continue going through our exploration/review. Context. Right now I've only got one context, and that context is multi-line selection. It descends from base context, and it's called multi-line selection. That's all I have to do. What's going to happen is when we're trying to evaluate this, it's going to go in and look for every descendant of base context, see if it's got a class name match, and if it does, it's going to just run with it. It's going to call get value on it. Base context, what's that doing for me? Says whether it handles, so it's just going to check to see if the token matches the name of this type. Yep. And then there's a static load all, which basically is going to go through every base context. It's going to get to the assembly the base context is in, find all the derived types of it right there, and it's going to add them as a new variable, is what it's going to do. Okay?
All good.
All right, so that's my multi-line selection. Core's got, I think, base context, pretty simple. But now you see what I'm talking about with the organization, Rory. We can now go in and find the piece we want to find, at least theoretically, much faster because of the organization. IDE commands. These are my 2 selection. I've got a selection embedding command, which comes in, takes a text area that's specific to the Avalon edit control that we're using. Let's see, what are we doing? Just getting the bounds of it, working on the offset from the document, creating an undo stack group so that we can make a lot of changes, but we undo it with one Control-Z instead of all those individual changes requiring a Control-Z. We're just inserting. We're getting the line from by the number, and we're taking that line's offset, and we're just inserting the prefix at that point. And then what's happening down here? Oh, we're selecting the whole thing at the end. That's it, pretty simple. Selection trim is kind of similar in the sense that it's working with the text area. It's working with the offset, the documents, doing the start, the undo group, goes through from the start line to the end line. This function right here, get selection bounds. This is an extension method we have, which gets the bounds and swaps them to make sure that your end line is always later than your start line. That's what's going on there, because we found that was needed for my for loop and going through and inserting and modifying the document, that sort of thing. So all we're doing here is we're removing that prefix if it starts with that prefix. That's all we're doing. And so that's my selection trim, right? Yeah, we could change this to some degree and specify this like this. We could do that instead of having parameters in a separate piece.
Could do.
Maybe later. Maybe later. It might be easier to read instead of having a separate column over here. Okay, good. So that's all good. That's my shortcuts. Those are my commands. Then I have code templates, and there's my template engine right in there. This is our template expansion engine. Here's where we want to worry about context. We're not doing context yet on the text commands, on the templates rather than the text commands.
Okay.
I mean. The text commands are here, and they are defined with this text command name attribute. So when we see caret, that's going to bind that in there. This one, when we see code completion, or when we see show tooltip. And show tooltip is, we're going to see these in our code completion up here. They're referenced up inside of our providers, I believe. No. Here. This is where the object in the code completion list is actually selected. And so, for example, I thought we were going to see it in file completion. No. Here it is here. Here we go. So we're going template engine.get command passing in code completion. So that's going to just dress this up with special double brackets on either side of it. And so we're going to expand that text out. And then when we expand that text out as part of the template engine, when it sees that special command, it's going to invoke that text command, the code completion text command, which is back over in here. And that's going to simply say invoke code completion after expansion's complete. So what's really cool about this, we wrote this code about a week ago, I think, a week or two. What's cool about this is the after caret offset is already being stored where this text command showed up in the template expansion. So as I'm going through the template expansion here, let's go look at the template. Right here, we've got the word caret, right? As I go through, when I see this, I mark that location and I remember it. And then later, if we go look at the caret command, when the expansion is complete, we just simply take that remembered place and we assign it to the text area's caret offset. And we put it right there. Which means we should be able, let's do this. As a test of just how effective this is, let's add a new text command called anchor. Like that. Okay? Like that. And now what I want to do, though, is I want to say, we don't have an anchor in here, do we? How do we set the selection? I forget how we set it. I just was looking at that code. Do you remember, Rory?
I don't know.
It was just in, it was in our commands. Selection trim and selection beta, you can both do it. Selection create is what's going on.
Okay.
And we assign it to the text area.selection. So it looks like it's going to be selection.create. Now, The problem here is we want expansion complete. We want actually maybe a different override, because there's a difference between expansion complete and then another one that we want, which is every single other text command has had its expansion complete done. In other words, we want to be called after the caret set its position. We need the caret's position set. So we need to, let's go tab to next reference and see where this is called. Here. Expansion complete. I need something new. I need something new here that says
after expansions complete, or all expansions are complete effectively, isn't it?
Yeah, all expansions complete, like that. Let's do that. Expansions complete. Do this. Do this. Nice. And hold on. I'm clearing here. I don't think I want to clear here. I want to clear down in here. I want to clear all of those down there. So then we're going to call all expansions complete. Come back, drill into that. And let's do tab to next reference to find that guy. Let's go up into position saver command. And let's duplicate that. And I think that's what we need to do structurally there. Okay, so now we want to say all expansions complete, override that one, and then we're going to say text area.selection is equal to selection create text area. The start offset is going to be text area dot caret dot offset. There it is, and the end offset is going to be this. The after caret offset.
Do we know whether the Avalon editor will accept those values if they happen to be in sort of reverse order? Because I know that we can do a selection that drags left or one that drags right.
I'm going to say it absolutely must be able to do that. If it doesn't, it's not a good text editor. And so far we've seen a lot.
The editor will allow us to do it. What I'm saying is it expecting us to have those two values passed the correct way round to that method?
No, because I should be able to pass them in reverse order so it can give me a reverse selection, is what I'm saying. So it would be a bad design if they didn't do that. So now what's cool about that, so let's try that now. We're going to change our template. We got a build error. What's happening here? Show to tooltip. Oh, does not implement the other one.
Implement the new method.
Okay. Yeah, I'm using the itext command interface, but I don't think I think I could almost get away with not using it, I suppose. All right, so anyway, we've got all expansions complete, not doing anything there. I almost need like another one. Do we have any other issues? Build succeeded. Okay, run. All right. Yeah, this is cool, right? We're essentially, as we're speccing out the change, we're making the change about that fast, right? So let's initialize player data. Let's go, while we're doing that, let's come over and create a template that demonstrates it. And now what I want to do is I want to say something like this. Finally, code goes here, like this, and let's put it in a selection by adding the anchor command here. Okay?
Yep.
Save it. And so now that should give us a selection going from left to right. From right to left, sorry, my bad. Switch over here, bring up the code. Here we are. Now let's type in, let's reload templates and shortcuts because we just made that change. And now type in TF. Look at that. See it?
Nice. Yeah.
Right? It's really fast.
We've got an interesting code complete with no items in it there.
Yeah, you're right. I'm not sure if that's my problem or not. We might look into that. What happens if there's no items? Maybe we shouldn't be showing it. But
in any case, the selection was there. It was from the right direction to the left, from right to left. Yeah. And that's pretty snazzy.
Yeah, and so now we can demonstrate swapping those, putting those in the other direction. Right, put that over there. And maybe do it where we just select one word. right there. That's what we're looking for there. Let's come in here, reload, come in and do the try finally. There it is.
Great
See
stuff.
it?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's cool. Right, so that speaks to the architecture.
does.
Why am I not, my up and down's not working? Is that because I have nothing in here maybe? I have to hit
I think
escape?
maybe
Yeah.
it's taking the up and down arrows, yeah.
Oh, maybe it didn't have focus. Let's try that one more time. TF, up and down are not doing anything for me. And if I hit escape, it's going to bring my focus over here because of that code I wrote. I need to check if this thing is open and up. We should maybe find this bug right here is what we should maybe do. Because when I hit escape here to let go of this, it just gets me, it moves focus away and drops it, but moves focus away more importantly. I need to see if that window is up. I think I have a way of doing that. Let's go find that binding to escape. Right now, that shortcut binding is hard-coded. And where is it hard-coded? Let's go look at text completion engine. Yeah. Okay. So text entered. I don't want text entered. I want the other one. Text entering, I think, is where I'm doing request insertion is what's happening here. This is what I think builds it, is what I think happens.
Okay.
So the request insertion, I don't think I can tab it down into that. Then completion window, where am I calling show on that thing anywhere? Here. Let's set a breakpoint here and expand the template. See if we get this, see if we're causing it to come up. So T, okay. I'm editing run F, probably gonna get another one. Nope. And now I'm gonna hit space. Well, now we're not even getting it?
That's weird.
It is.
Speed issue?
Maybe. Maybe. It looks like I got a dog trapped in the room with me here. Okay, now what I want to do is come back, set a breakpoint. Oh, wait, no, I don't. Hold on. I want to set a breakpoint. Now hit the letter F space. Yeah, I don't get that at all. Let's try again without the breakpoint ever there. TF. Yeah, okay, it is a speed issue. The first T brings up code completion. The second, then we got a whole bunch of stuff go shooting out. I think what we need is this. I think when a template expands, we need to check to see if the window's up and drop it. Is what we need to do. Let's go figure out how we're expanding templates, because I'm like, here we go, expand template. Expand template, template engine. Preview key down. And I think what I want to do is say, hey, oh man. I need to get rid of it. I need to take it down before inside of this call. I can't do it before and I can't do it after because of the complexities of the implementation of templates, because templates could actually say, bring up the code completion window when we're done expanding. What I need to do is I need to do it after we've gone through all the checks. Right now is when I need to do it here. The problem is I'm in the template engine here. I'm not in the piece that has a reference to it.
Would you have anything to tell you the depth of execution you're at? So if you've got your very first template being executed by the user at the highest level, then prior to doing that, yes, you should shut down the code completion window. But if you're at any level of depth wherein one template has led to another, then those ones are the ones that can have emitted.
Well, right now the depth is always going to be 1 because we don't have support for nested templates yet. But we could do this. we could do this. We could take this right here, and we could say, let's create our own Boolean function here, right here. Should expand template, like that. And otherwise we're going to say return true. Let's kill the app because these green lines are driving me crazy. I got to definitely fade those down if I'm going to do any of this. And we need to return both the template and the expansion. Yeah. So I think we need like some sort of tuple or something along those lines. Get template to expand is what I think we need. Let's pass in the text editor to this. Let's create that. I don't think I want to do a tuple. I think I want to do a template ready to go, something like that. Template to expand, and I want that to have the template name, maybe the name, and the expansion, like that. Okay, template to expand is there. Move type to file. That's what we're going to return. Let's create a new constructor that initializes that. Select all, initialize those properties, and now we've got our template to expand. Let's jump back. This is going to now return, should expand template is get template to expand, maybe? I'm typing it and I've already got it next to me. All right, get template to expand, and this is going to return null. This is going to return null. Whoops. And down here, this is going to return null. And this is going to return a new template to expand, passing in the template and the expansion, like that. I guess I'll rename the property to template rather than name. Like that. Okay, so there's my template to expand, and that means now I can pass that in here. Now I can be at that point where I can realize, oh, you know what? I've got to drop down. I've got to drop down code completion. All right, template to expand, and now we're going to say this dot template, and this dot expansion. Good. All right, that's better. The return true we don't need anymore. Hold on. Yeah, there's a... Yeah, we're gonna make this return a void. It's going to say expands this specified. Wait, hold on. Specified template at the caret position. I think there's a coder's template /p. Yeah, look at that. Template to expand. Yeah, if I want to do that, I'm going to just leave those there because I don't have anything else there for them. I want to come up here and I want to say gets the template, if it exists. And here's where we would add our context to the that is to the left of the caret. Like that. Okay, so let's make that public, and now let's go find our call to expand template. And what I want to do is I want to say next code, declare local there, Then I want to say if template to expand is not null. Then I want to say handles is equal to true and expand the template there. Whoops, meant to be a comma. Good. Now that we're here, I can now say, what is it? Code completion window, is that in here? Where's the, oh, it's not here. It's down in the template, no, text expansion engine. Is that right? No. Where's expansion?
Not sure. That should be
completion. No,
the
no, it's completion is the word I'm looking for. Text completion engine dot probably hide code completion. Well, I've got the code completion window there. I'm just going to say hide code completion window. That's what I'm going to do. Let's go declare that. Shoot, I hit control dot. I got to train myself to do the, just hit my numeric keypad value I specified for it. Okay, hide completion window. So now we've got our code completion. No, it's just called completion window, isn't it? Completion window, there it is. Completion window. If not null, and this dot is that how we're doing this? How are we doing this? Isn't it an is open? I thought there was an is open on it. Nope, doesn't look like it. Let's go see what we've got elsewhere in here. Parameter tooltip is open, I see. I think we can just simply call close on it. If it's not null, then we're just going to call close. Good.
Seems reasonable.
All right, let's see if that fixes it. All right, we're in. Initialize player data. I'll just scroll there. Jump over to code.
Okay.
All right, so try TF space. Okay, that fixed it. Better? Better.
There was something there for a moment. What was actually there?
Oh, it's the timing issue. When I hit the T, it pops up. I hit the F, we're now at this point.
And there are things that actually qualify.
Then cool. I hit the space, and it goes away.
Okay, that's pretty reasonable.
Not bad, but we do need though. We need to find that hard coded. If I hit escape here, I need to check if this window's up before I jump. Because watch what happens now. I hit escape, I jump over there. Escape, I jump over again, right there. So here you can see I'm jumping between these two pieces. Hitting enter takes me back down in. Escape takes me out, which is all good. You know, I want to be able to move quickly between these. But what I really want though is if that is up and I hit escape, I don't want to jump out. So I got to go find that binding. And I think it might be up here in, oh yeah, I think it's right here on screen actually, right here. So
escape with no modifiers down.
Yeah, that's what I'm looking for. So if I'm here, let's run past it. Hold on. T, run past it. Oops, I hit it before. All right, now, oh shoot, because we alt tabbed back and forth. All right, I'm just going to write the code. But basically, it's okay. If I'm here and I hit escape, yeah, I'm just going to write the code. I'll set a breakpoint here.
Yeah. It's one of those delicate ones where actually the nature of switching back to the code will affect your environment. So code completion disappears. So it's a little trickier, but we'll get there.
It's text completion engine dot code completion window dot is active. I don't know if it's active is the same. Dot is visible. Visibility equals visibility dot visible.
Haven't you also got the possibility the code completion window itself is null?
Yeah, I think you're right as well. And so we're going to say code completion. Let's do this. This is getting nasty. Let's just say and code completion window is up, and we'll do a not in front of that and there. So let's declare that locally. And now we're going to say return. Let's see. Let's do this in a couple pieces for readability here. So we're going to say if that's null, then we're going to say return false. It's not up. Otherwise, we're going to return this one right here. Why is this? Okay, it's just, I was like, why is this syntax highlighted like it's not going to be a hit? But it was just taking a while to catch up. All right, so let's try it. See if the visibility check is what we need. So I'm going to type in TF, hit escape.
Oh.
So hold on.
Is the escape getting handled ahead of you getting it? Closing the completion window and then following through to your code anyway?
I'm not sure. Let's see what happens. I'm going to hit escape now. Got a breakpoint here. So it's saying that it is... Oh.
Oh.
Oops. Oops. Oopsie doodle. Let's try again. All right. Here we go. T, F, escape. There we go.
Nice.
And now
that's
escape takes me out, and then enter takes me back. That's what we want. Okay, better. What are we doing? Is anybody paying attention to what code we're writing? Context for templates. That's kind of where we're going. We've just been playing, right? Showing how the engine works. Yep. Showing that the engine is pretty well designed for making this a high-powered editor inside for editing spells for Dungeons and Dragons. But it's what we want, right? We had a great idea by saying, hey, let's take these Dungeons and Dragons rules and stick them out someplace where they're kind of human readable, and we've got version control on them, and it's all kind of automatic, and we could share and have multiple people collaborate on it if we wanted to. But we also wanted to be able to edit the code parts of those things in more powerful ways. And so we use the Avalon edit, and we've put that thing in here. I am going to change these color highlighting so it's a lighter theme. It's a light theme, not a dark, because it's not right here. But I'm going to change that up. So now let's look at what do we got next on the list? Context for templates. Let's see. Do we have a use case that makes sense? We kind of do.
Yeah, we've got our if, haven't we? Which, if you're going to be typing a comment that literally says, well, if this is the case, then we intend to do something, you don't want the brackets necessarily expanding.
Yeah. So the problem is, though, that context, I'm not so sure about that. I'm not so sure that the how to determine if we're in a place, like are we in a comment or not, or are we in a string? Like I could kind of do a cheap way, but I was hoping that we could go to the Avalon edit and do a kind of a hack way, or maybe a really cool way. Avalon edit, looks like determine highlight color position. It's not so much the highlight color, but I want to say the syntax at position. That's what I want to do. Maybe at offset. What is the syntax? Find the syntax. Find out, determine the syntax at a given offset. Is that going to help you? There. Perfect. This is the question I want. Boom.
Okay, so the idea is effectively here that Avalon actually knows something about its syntax already, and therefore can tell you are in a comment.
Yes, and it knows that from the file, the
language specification it was handed.
Right. If we come up here and we search for C#, that file is here, and we're loading it up. That's how I changed my color settings. Where is it? Oh, I don't want all this noise. Let's type in C#.xaml, I think is what it is. Is that going to get it for me? There it is. All right. So what this means is I'm looking to see what color is there, right? Based on these different pieces. So we look for comment. Preprocessor comments. Where's the rules for comment? Here we go. I think this is it.
Yes.
Here's another one. So this one has only begin delimiters. This has begin and end delimiters. See that? So this is this information I think is passed off to a regular expression engine that goes and determines what sections of the text, how they're going to be labeled. So that's what
presumably there's a similar thing for string to suggest whether or not you're actually in a string.
See, there's string right there, and we can go find string, and I bet we find something similar. A regular expression that is, there you go, begin and end, right?
So these could be relatively easy implementations then.
Yeah, look at this. Escape sequences as well, right? Begins with the slash, ends with any character. These are regular expression pieces here, right? So look at that, right? So yeah, you could give these any name. So what I'm looking for is, are we in a comment? Are we in a string, right? Or alternatively, like, what are we in, right? And it's going to give me some number. It's one of these, including just default text, which occurs as well. Like if I have something that's not anything, spell name here, that's coming from the default text setting for the WPF control.
Yes.
Does that make sense? So I have two settings, background and foreground for the WPF control. Foreground is here because I don't have anything that this matches. Okay? But other pieces like this, these are all matching things. So what I want to do is find out where we are. What are we in? That's exactly the question I want to ask. What's the answer look like? Ooh, we got to grab it, the highlighter service. Getting fancy. Okay. Cool.
Yeah.
Offset, get offset. Okay, fine. We're just getting the offset. Then we're going to say, wait, what's this? Highlight line. Highlighter, highlight line. This feels wrong to me. Wait. Result. Wow, that's a little more complicated than I would expect. Because I would expect this to already be stored and out there.
Hey!
Can we back that up? Back that up! Back, not the pudding again! You know that Pudding is the only guy that can completely shut down my stream? Code Hustle's out there saying, hello, hope you're well. Hope you're well as well. And Jetsam came in earlier. I don't know if I said hi, Jetsam. I think I just quickly did that. Jetsam, glad you're with us. Pudding, how you doing, buddy? Glad you're with us.
Pudding.
Yeah, Pudding really gave us a link to the ranges before. Put that on my reading list. Make sure I got all that. I'm up to date on that. Okay.
So this feels almost like the result of a regular expression, which would make sense given how it's figured out in the first place.
Look at this. Frackfurt's like, I can kind of make Mark disappear. Come on, look out for that. Whoa! Frackfurt always hits that thing. By the way, do you love my new machine, Frackfurt? We used to have all kinds of problems when Frackfurt came on. The whole machine would go chunk, chunk, chunk. My new machine says, Mark, I dare you to throw more gigabytes of transparent, images. That's like 8 gigabytes. To do that, that loads up 8 gigabytes of ABIs. There's a 4 gigabyte in the background, 4 gigabyte in the foreground, loads them all up. It's at 1020p, 1080p, yeah, that's pretty cool.
Careful, if little cutie finds out you've got a better machine, she might be after a herd of battle unicorn.
You never know. But, you know, we do have the ability to control. We built a sprinkles puppet. It was kind of okay. There's sprinkles right there. Let's switch back over to main view. There you can see sprinkles. Kind of okay. Not too bad. We had the ability to blast it on command to switch to, like, say, the scoop attack or something like this. And it would kind of switch from one animation to another. I've clicked on scoop attack. I think it's got to get out of the graze before it can do it. So there's the scoop. There's the stab right there. There's the push-up attack. It's kind of okay. But, you know, there's the dies. We can do the dies animation right there. It's okay. There we go. All gone. And we have ability to walk and stuff like that. And but it wasn't looking super smooth. And I kind of lost interest, and demand for it kind of dropped too. So
okay.
Anyway, that's sprinkles. Okay. So now we're looking at context.
We were looking at the highlighter, the Stack Overflow post that you found.
Right.
It looked to me like it was a case of, rather than there being a caret necessarily in a singular position, that it was maybe saying, well, here is some highlighted code. What is the range or the set of contexts that this overlaps? So it was sort of speaking of, here is some text and some string and some other things. Because there's a selection. It's asking, do any of the selections contain the word comment? Or equal the word comment, the types? That's that last sort of statement there.
Well, it's got to be any of the sections around that off position. And it could be that this could be because highlights happen in nesting sequences. For example, I could have within my one set of code, I could have a section where there's another section of code. And so that highlighted section says this is now like C# or JavaScript or something. And then in there I could have like a string. And so I think that's what's happening there. It's going through all of those and seeing if any of those is a comment. The thing that is like a little bit like, I'm like, really? I got to go highlight that line? Okay, I can, but am I not already doing that all the time? And maybe the answer is no. Because maybe I think as I read something where the Avalon editor is only highlighting what's in screen. So, okay.
Gotcha.
So let's take this code. We're running. We'll go ahead and close this down. Let's throw that code in somewhere. Where do we want to put that? I'm going to say context. I got one called multi-line selection. I'm going to create... Oh, actually, I've got two in here. Hold on, let's move this to its own file so it looks a little simpler. And now we're looking at, there we go. So we just got to override the get value in here. So we've got multi-line selection, and selection is commented. Now I want to do this. Let's select all this, duplicate this. What's on my clipboard? Okay, that. And so we're going to say, do I have support for parameters here? Caret is in, I guess I'll say in comment for now. Let's move this to its own file. We need this method somewhere, but I think it's going to be in my text document extensions. That's what I'm going to have it. That's how I feel right now, this pudding. I thought Rory was going to have to leave.
Now, I was a half second from hitting the button.
Yeah, really?
Pudding was just
nice.
That much quicker.
Yeah, he heard the typing. I was like,
well done, Pudding.
Good job, Pudding. All right, Rory. Tuesday, we'll see you.
It is that time. I have to go. But as you say, Tuesday, I will be back.
All right, kids. We'll see you on Tuesday. I'll be back tomorrow. Might be starting a little late. I got a meeting in the morning over here, and might be starting late. But thanks, Rory. Appreciate it so much.
See you later. Bye.
Now it's time to party because Rory is gone. Yeah, you just kicked Rory out. No. Cries and wiggles. Okay, what am I doing? Oh, I want to do it here. I want to put that here like this, and I want to pass in text document. Is it text document or just document? Hold on. I want to close. I'm going to let's get rid of this. Remove type qualifier there. Yeah, I want a text document I want to pass in. That's what I want to do. And a caret offset is in comment. Or actually I want to say is maybe just get section. No, because there could be nested sections. I could get the first one. Let's do this. Is in section. Is in highlight section. Like that. Cool. Now we got to get to the text area. I think I can get to that from document. I can't. Why can't I get to text area? All right, so we're going to change this to text area then. That's what we're going to do. Come down here and get this, because we can get to a document from the text area. What do we need? Highlighter. Where's that coming from? We'll use it. And we'll make this a Boolean. Now we got to get to the document. There it is right there. Oh, we already have the offset. We're passing in the offset, caret offset there. Let's rename this to offset, then delete the line. Okay. Text area dot document dot get line by number. Uh-oh. I think we got to get line by offset though. Boom. Pass in caret offset. There's my result. And then we need to pass in one more section here. The section name or the highlight name. Like that. What's going on here? Get line by offset. A document line to an int. That takes the line number. So we're going to say the line number right there. Okay. Okay. And then this is going to be the highlight name at the end over here. So if the color name is equal to that, I'm going to drop this down in a couple lines here so it's easier to read. And is that going to work? What's my any coming back here? Isn't that already a Boolean? Why is this underlined here? Switch method must be static. Okay, and we got to make it public too. All right, that's what we're looking for. All right, is in highlight section. Okay. Now, I suppose I could come in here and I could say is in comment, like that, and is in string, and from those return and just pass the appropriate pieces in here. Let's do that. Is in comment. Gezija, W is now following. Thanks for that follow, Gezija. Appreciate that. Cool. So we're going to pass in text area, offset. And we're going to pass in the section name, which is going to be comment. Okay. So is in comment looks like that. Let's duplicate this. Change it to is in string, like that. And we're going to make this be a string right there. And so now that should maybe be helpful in terms of figuring out our context. We've got these pieces here that can help us out. Let's go find our context and see how we're implementing that. Just like this, we got to get that piece right there. I'm just looking at how we can simplify this code a little bit. Commodore 256 says hi. Welcome to Commodore 256. Gaziga says, Gaziga says, always happy to support fellow C# friends. Well, thank you so much. Appreciate that. I'm looking at simplifying this code up here because at every single one of these, I got to go grab, I got to execute this to grab that code. I have an ancestor get value. I could call base.getValue and pass in these three things, set a property in the ancestor based on those. So I could change that code that we've done. So I could change these three lines of code, these lines of code here, to this followed by that. Make this a property in the ancestor class. So base.getValue. What's wrong here? What is not liking here? It's abstract. Okay. But I could implement it. And so I could turn this into the lines of code above, getting a little bit of simplification in there. Yeah, I don't think I'm doing it. It's not quite there. Oh, wait. How are we calling get value? I think I do have a good idea for this though. Who's calling this? Oh, we're in variables here. Okay, hold on. Let's go back. Let's do this. Let's go into base context. That abstract is coming from even above here, I think. Is that true? No. Wait, what's going on? No, I think it is true. We just don't have the unit. We're just getting errors because we're not having the right unit using statement up above. Okay, so let's do this. Let's instead call return. Picture is null, then we're going to say return null. I'm going to say return context is satisfied. This is better. Commodore 256 says, how can one learn to code when you have trouble thinking logically? You feel following tutorials are cheating because you just copied verbatim. You can't think of a simple thing to program and have no self-trust. I'm also not into simple things. Pudding says start from the basics. This is actually like a really good thing. And I kind of feel like Commodore 256 is nervous, says is up above there. Mark is not intimidating. Okay, gotcha. Yeah. Maybe build a small complex project like a calculator. Yeah, I got a recommendation for you. Maybe. I don't know if this is, I'm not at all putting any, stock in the quality of this recommendation because I'm like a little crazy. But what I would consider is something like this. Let's see. Should throw in the word, yeah, there we go. All right. So this, getting something, maybe not necessarily this one. Let me do something else. Let me do another search here. I want to go through my list of my orders so I can give you something that is there. It is. Bring this up for you. I've ordered this. Now, here's why I suggest this. Because you're not into simple things. You can take this and hook this up to anything, like just like something simple like a light turning on and off. Or something more complex, like about a year and a half on the show, we're launching explosives off remotely from the computer. And so you kind of learn how to interface. You're programming, the software part of it is simple. The complex part of it is kind of outside what you're connected to. So it kind of motivates you, right? And if you're dealing with explosives like I was, yeah, this is really bad advice. You want to, yeah, it keeps you on edge, right? It keeps you alert. Right. At one point, I was like, I had several fail-safe systems I was running, but I was still nervous because the chat room had the ability to blow it up right here in my face. I was dealing with just flash. I had a coil and I had some flash paper. So it's kind of a harmless explosive from that magicians use. You can light it on fire. But still, this thing would just go right up near my face and it would be kind of exciting. So you getting a piece of hardware, right? And learning how to interface that with that and building your software with that kind of gives you that ability to, I think, play in that space that might be kind of a better space. The other thing is you also have like fun hardware coding projects. Let's see what we can find here. I'm looking for something with lights on it. Well, like Raspberry Pi is something you could get into as well, right? So it's like you've got kind of hardware there, you're playing with it. There's a lot of expansion, possibilities with Raspberry Pi, but there's some other, maybe let's add the word easy in here too. Fun, easy, fun. What do we get? That's like too easy, I think. I'm looking for a circle of lights. What is that project called? Circle. Can I do that too? This one. Make code. Adafruit's circuit playground. I would look in this space. I've seen kids go after this kind of thing, and it's fun because you've got individual color control of the lights. You've got them in a circle around. It's something you can play with. And again, the code can be simple. So it keeps your attention. It's a physical object right there. So I would run with that. I noticed while emulating 6502 system, 6508 SM does feel more real. Yeah. So something to do, right? I recommend that, right? You combine reality with what you're coding. And the other thing that's cool about that is you can always kind of switch context, right? Whenever you're tired of looking at words, you can come over here and, do some soldering or, whatever, work with it in that space. And I find it, I think that might actually be a good answer. Maybe no explosives, say no to the explosives, but maybe say yes to something like this. That's what I recommend. Hey, speaking of explosives, my wife has just come in.
Wait, what?
She wants me to open up this right here for her. There you go. It's a bottle of coconut oil, by the way. Oh, coconut oil looks pretty much invisible.
Oh, it's beautiful.
In real life. All right. That's it. That's my use. I reach things that are tall, and I can open up coconut oil bottles. Yeah, that's what I'd recommend. Yeah. You can touch the 6502 ASM. Yeah, I kind of get that. So yeah, that's what I would kind of recommend. All right, let's see. We'll throw that down. I've been thinking about rebringing this back in. Let's go to, actually, so speaking of which here, I want to go to, I don't know if I can find this here or not. I want to go to, this is like a DJ smoke cannon. That's what I want. I want a big one. I want the biggest smoke cannon you've got. That's what I want. Something like that. I want to be able to shoot out cannon, and I want to be able to, for the chat room to be able to get that remotely, right? Remotely shoot this thing off at my feet. Would that be crazy or what? Right? Or when we go to the dance party scene, we can do a little bit of that. Have that thing shooting off. That's what I want. Professional stage effect. Something like that. If not that one. Ooh, I don't think I want to pay $600 for it though. Unless it can really shoot out a massive jet. Yeah, that's kind of what I'm talking about. Something like that. Yeah, we get more fanfares. Get a bubble machine instead. A bubble machine. I'm a little worried about shooting bubbles in here with the keyboards. Not too worried, but a little worried. It's a little bit fun. I do have spare keyboards. Yeah, I want one of those smoke cannon. Is that what it's called? Cryo cannon? Cryo cannon? Or is that the brand name? Speaking of fanfares, look who's here. Yeah, shopping time. I can get two.
Copper Beardy is in the house.
This one does look industrial strength though, doesn't it? That one does look pretty impressive. What I want is a video comparison so I can see just how much. Is this a video? Okay, those are awesome, right? You have to admit, that's probably more than what I really need, in fairness. But holy cow, is that awesome. Yeah. I also probably have to work out a deal with the wife so that we can justify spending some money on this. What's this one? This one was looking, that one looks giant. Really, from this thing? 8 to 10 meters. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. I'm playing into space. And I'm planning on having this whole thing remotely controlled from the chat room. That's what I'm doing. We'll get here. I'll look at this more later today. We'll write some code for now. But that's kind of what I'm playing with. Okay, I want to go back to my templates. We're looking at context right here. And actually, I was in the middle of refactoring some code here. So I want to call context is satisfied, and I want to pass in text area on it, like this. And I guess I'll pass in a probably need the evaluator. Will I need the player? I don't think so, because we're just talking about code right here. So let's declare that method right there. And we're going to return that as a bool. I'm going to make this abstract. And now, and public or protected. Like that. So context is satisfied. Now, what's cool is, oh wait, yeah, we're passing in the text area. So now what's cool is the descendant code simplifies. So let's go look at our derived types from here. We got 3 of them. Now what we want to do is we want to whoops, that was not what I wanted. PUB override. Why am I not seeing it? Context is satisfied. It's protected. I'm descending from base context. Oh, because it's public. That's what it is. There it is. Okay. There's my context is satisfied. Now I don't need this anymore because that's in common to everything. And then I can just take this and put it in there. That simplifies the code greatly. and it's better. That's what I'm looking for right there. Simpler code. All right, so that's one of the descendants. Let's come up here, find the other descendant. Multi-line selection. So PT, OV, space, context is satisfied. Take all of this. Do that. Better. And oops. It's even better than that. That's what I'm talking about. That's good code. All right, one more descendant of this. Selection is commented. PT space, OV space, select. Drop a marker. You can delete that, and we just need from here to here. And get back there. Delete that. And there it is. Selection is commented. Much easier to read now. The complexity is dropping substantially. Now we can add our own descendant of base context. So I'll copy that to the clipboard. I'll type in C / C / rather. And we're going to say, we're going to call this the in comment. And we'll come down in here and say PT, OV again. Get that context is satisfied, and now we're going to come back and we're going to say return. We want the text area dot. We want that extension method, so I'm going to tap the control key, hit X for show only extension methods, and I want to say don't I have an is in comment? There it is right there. Is in comment and the caret offset, so we're going to pass in the current caret position. Or, hold on, let's add a default value for the offset. Make it -1. For both of these, for all three of these actually. And we come in here, we're going to make that equal to -1. And suppose we, actually before we do that, let's reorder these parameters. Pop that over there. Make a -1 right here, like that. So now we've got that default coming in here, and then we're going to do this. We're going to say if the caret offset is equal to -1, then caret offset is equal to text area dot caret offset, caret dot offset. Cool. Okay. So now I can just say if text area is in comment. Like that. That's for in comment. Selection increase. Duplicate that in string. Like that. And now we're going to change is in comment to is in string. I'm going to move these to their own files. The cool thing again about this architecture is that that should be all we have to do. And now suddenly, well, almost suddenly, we should be able to say, instead of this context being here, we can say, actually, let's add these two, encode block and on empty line. We're going to add those as well. Encode block, that's going to say, we're going to come down here, we're going to say, we are not in a comment, and we're not in a string. Okay, that's encode block. And we need to duplicate this as well. We're going to say on empty line. Like that. And this one's trickier because if I'm about to expand a template and I've typed in if and that's all that's there, I want to return false if that's all that's there. I basically need to see what's left of the template name that's typed in that matches and what's right of the caret and see if there's nothing, essentially white space on both sides. That's a little trickier. I'm going to hold off on empty line. Well, actually, let's do this. We're just going to return true for now. I think we don't have enough information to actually make that work. Let's move that type to its own file. Encode block, we'll remove that to its own file. All right, so now we've got context that should be working, but we're not calling it. We need to call the context and see if that's going to work. So we need to do that before we expand the template. So up here in code templates, our template engine, we've got the template to expand here as well. This is where we create it. We just wrote this code earlier today. How am I getting the template expansion? What's in code template? Template expansion context. All right, you know what? I'm going to delete template to expand class is what I'm going to do. We're going to get instead return the code template. So instead of saying get template expansion, I'm going to get the code template. Like that. And just simply return it. We don't need any of this. That was our hard-coded template before we started adding that. It says add support for context. Well, context. We need to see if the context is satisfied here. Wicked Blue Ninja's here. Crazy busy, Wicked Blue Ninja. We are doing well, I think. N. Permiakov says, chat-controlled smoke machine, that would be solid UX from the expert in the field. Yeah, I think it would be fun. Sorry, I missed that text before. Yeah, instead of getting virtual smoke, you'd get real smoke. Yeah, it would drive my wife crazy, I think, to have that thing just go off suddenly. I think it would be really hilarious. I'm like, even though I would be like, "Wah!" every time, I think it would be hilarious. And I just got to make sure that it's not going to, I've got a lot of electronic equipment here, and I'm just got to make sure it's not going to damage any of it. I think that would be okay. What if you gave me a heart attack live on, I'm getting old enough that that's actually a possibility. Ah, you killed me. What would that look like? What would that trial look like if that was you, Pudding, who did it? So anyway, yeah, we're going to know it. We're fine. I think my heart's totally fine. No reason to be thinking that. Okay. We got to be thinking about, I think we need to do this. We're not checking to see if the context is actually satisfied. So we need to do this. I think it goes like this: and expressions dot get bool, and we're going to pass in x dot context. So the expression engine will evaluate the context, which is going to route it through to, for example, caret isn't comment command. Context. Is that right? Yeah. Caret isn't comment. And does get bool, what happens if that's empty coming in? Yeah, I think we need to check to see if it's not empty. So I think we're going to have to say, hey, if template is equal to word left a caret and context is null or empty or white space, Did I not have the right selection? Looks like maybe I didn't. That's what I needed. There we go. Okay. So if it's white, null white space, or the context is satisfied, get bool returns a true, right there. That's going to return the first template that has that context. Now, here's where I can maybe get I'm going to come in and just return that get code template. Okay. So get template to expand returns a code template. Get code template does the same. It finds the one that's contextually there. Let's come back out here, change the return type. Declare local, template to expand. Fine. Then we've got expand template. It should be a code template. We're going to delete this class here. Template to expand. There. We're going to delete that. Okay. This is going to become a code template. Okay. Now what I want to do, hold on, we want to get the context problem solved. Here, get template to expand. So, I want to work on are we on an empty line problem or not? And there's the line text. Get word left. Line text. Okay, so now I need to know, I want to create hold on, I think I can do this context. I can do this. I could create, I'm going to do this. It's a little non-standard, but I'm going to do I'm going to use a static variable just before I call get code template, where I'm going to store that. I'm going to store it inside base context dot, and I'm going to say line left of template and line right of template. I'm going to set both of those. And we'll just set this here for now. Maybe not line, but text. Text right of template and text left of template, like that. Let's declare both of those. Auto implemented static properties. Okay. Now we've got those two pieces. Now we can query those. I'm going to set a breakpoint here. Let's run it and see how we get. See if we can actually use context now. Again, we're trying to make it so that when I type in if inside a comment that I just get the word if, but I type it in code, I get the parens for me automatically. That's coming from the template right here, this declaration for it right there. Okay, so we're up and running, initialize player data. Okay, so if space. All right, so let's look at what we've got here. The line text is if. Okay, so the word left is if. So we can get this one we can calculate pretty easily by saying the text.
Mark!
What I miss? How can we make you explode? Dude, you have to It's not pretty. You got to like move me over like to just a little bit over to the side there, a little bit, and then something like that. Or I don't know. I could move that all over here, I suppose, too. Yeah, you can make me dance, I suppose. I actually like that when that happens. I get to dance. It's fun. All right, so text left of template. Oops. Text left of template is going to be the line text dot remove. How do we lose? We lost. Did we lose our music? It's there. It's just a little low. Get the volume up a little bit. Let me know how the balance is over there. If the music is too loud or not. All right, so now what we want to do is remove, starting at, we want to remove the end of it. So we want to say line text dot length, comma, minus the template dot length, minus 1, comma, and then we want to take the template length away, I think. So that should give us an empty string when we get to this line of code and we execute this. Let's see what happens. No start index can't be less than 0. Okay, so it's not a -1. There it is. Wait, null? How do we get to null? How does a remove return a null? Let's try one more time. There it is. Okay. Looks like we're okay. That got pretty dark pretty quickly, Pudding. It did get pretty dark pretty quickly, didn't it? How can we blow up Mark? Yeah, I'm going to play in that space of getting that DJ smoke machine. It'll be fun to do. Let's see, text left of template is there. Text right of template, line text, get word left. I need to get word right. Get text right is what I need. Yeah, I think I can just, the line text is the whole thing. So I think I should be able to, we can test this with more data we throw at it. This is equal to line text dot remove. Starting at 0 and how much? Where does, I think it goes like this. Template start position or index equals line text dot last position of, is that what we have? Last index of template. That's what I think we have. Let's execute this line of code. What do we not like? Oh, here. And so we're going to remove to the start of the index plus the template length. So this should also give me an empty string for both of these. Let's come back up here, execute this line of code. What do we get? 0. Yeah. They're both empty strings. Good. We'll do another test when we put stuff on either side of them. What is this? We're deep inside the expression evaluator. Something's not working here. Can it convert to bool because it is a non-nullable value type that we got? Left is null. Right is null. I'm adding two different null values coming back. Okay, those are my two nulls I'm trying to AND. I'm ANDing both of those. Let's keep going backwards here. On empty line and in code block. They both return null. On empty line and in code block. So it means that we didn't find them is what it sounds like. Let's go find those contexts. We'll set a breakpoint here. Are we not returning this? Wait, do we not have a call? No, there's the call right there. Okay. Adding the variables right here. We should find them. Let's run. And let's stop a second, actually. I want to break into the load all and make sure that we're getting them, getting all those base contexts in. Base type, ooh, do I have a descendant of a non-base context type? That might be my problem. Hold on. That may be why I'm not finding it. In string, nope, they're all descending from it. Straight on. Okay. All right, so let's see what's going on with our, why aren't we loading them, apparently. So there's caret and comment. This is in code block. In comment. In string, they're all loading up. Okay, good. So at least that's happening. Initialize player data. Okay. Having a problem connecting to Twitch. Oh, that's not good. Here we go. Context is satisfied. Just run it. Run it, run it, run it. Okay. It's checking that context each time. This is actually a problem we ran into with CodeRush. It's coming in and asking that context question each time. Context is satisfied. For each of the pieces as we move each one. I'm going to be okay with that. I'm going to keep running it. Let's go ahead and say if space. What's happening now if let's just see. And we get the same problem. Get code template was triggering it. That's where we're getting get bool on the context. So what is the context that's triggering it is, I guess, the problem we need to look into. Well, wait, we know that from the call stack, don't we? On empty line and in code block. Give me a second. Let me just, give me a second. I'm responding. Live streaming now. We'll respond soon. Okay. All right, there we go. Okay. So on empty line and encode block are both apparently returning null. Why is that? I think it's a problem. I think it might be a problem in my logic here. Is that what's going on? The base context get value. Oh, is this it? This is it. This is my problem. It's returning null here. It's because of the call here. It needs to have that text array passed into it. Do we have the text box here? What do we have inside of this? This dot text box. TVX. No. Maybe I just have to pass it in. Hold on. Yeah, I gotta pass it in. Yeah, here's the problem, is that in base context, it's looking for the custom data of type text area, but in order to get that in, we've got to pass that. So I need to pass in an additional parameter here, text area. Okay, and so we'll call this text area, like that, and then I need to pass that in. So the first parameter, let's get to its own line. Let's turn off the breakpoint because it makes it hard to edit the code. Okay, here we go. Player is going to be null. Target's going to be null. Casted spell is going to be null. Just end space will give me that end template. Will expand for me. Their dice is going to be null. And custom data is going to be my text area right there. That's, I think, going to fix the problem. All right, now let's run it. Yeah, it took a while to get here, right? Sometimes that happens. You good intentions all the way, and you've got like some little slip up somewhere. Here we go. Sorry. How are you doing, Fred? You good? Fred? Fred says, no, you're not good? Come on, Fred. Why aren't you good? All right. Hide the scroll. Now I think this has got a shot at working. Chill touch. Cast. Let's find out if it works before we dance. I'm going to be such a good dancer. My wife's not going to have a chance when I'm on the dance floor. She's just going to swoon for me, kids. All right, so I just did a space. I kind of want to just run it. I have a good feeling about this. If space, context is satisfied on empty line. Now what I want to do here is I want to go into base context. I want to say, hey, if base context dot, what is it? Text left of template. If that thing is null or empty, null or white space, I'm going to call that. And the other one. And we're going to go to base context and grab text right of template. And we're going to return true on that. So otherwise we're going to return false. Whoops. And let's just simplify this. Flatten conditional. Coders can do that for us. We can get rid of this too. Simplify member access. Do the same over here. Now we've got those. We're using those two pieces there. So this should now tell us if we're on an empty line or not. I think this is all working. Sweet. Running. Now we're in code block. I don't know what's it going to say. I should have clicked to evaluate the value. So let's run it. See what we got. So now we don't have, so I typed in if space, right? Cool. Now let's type in if space. Look at that. See? Very cool. If I'm in a comment, if space does not add the parens. And now if I'm outside, I type if space, I get the parens. If I'm in a string and I type in if space, no parens. Right? Super cool. Not a lot of code, going on. What's going on? Last man is saying, you found me again. Oh my God, party. Do I get a price? Mine is 10,000 channel points. I'm cursed. No, I'll never get to redeem Ring Fit again. I'm so tired today, but too many good streams. I'm fighting. Last man, I'm sorry you're tired, buddy. But I'm feeling pretty good. Because we just did that. We just introduced templates in our templating engine. That means this all works, right? It's only going to work. That also means, though, if I have the word else and I type in if, I'm not going to get anything. So I almost want to say I'm on an empty line, or text left to right of else statement of else. Something like that. I don't think I have support for parameters on this yet. But if I do that, or right of else, let's do that. Let's implement that real quickly and see how easy or hard that is to do. Should be pretty easy. So I'm going to add a new context. We're going to duplicate this, call it right of else. And now what we're going to do is we're going to say if, actually I don't want this. I want base context dot text left of template. So text left of template dot trim. I suppose I should say not null too. Trim that's not null, and trim dot equals. I think I'm just going to do this. Else. So right of else now is going to be there, and I think that should solve it. All right. Initialize player data. Hide the scroll. Go to the code. So if space, that expands correctly. Else, whoops, if, and it expands correctly. Nice. All right, so now we have templates in here. I'm going to add another template. Let's do it. I want to create a new template called L that just expands to else. Nice. What's my context going to be? It's somewhat similar to this, I think. It's going to be on empty line and in code block. So it can't be in a comment, can't be in a string. Okay? Let's reload the templates and shortcuts. And now if I type in if space, come down to the next line, type in L space. Yeah, sweet. But now if I type in L, it's just going to give me the letter L. If I type in L up here, it gives me the letter L, right? Really, really nice. That's a tooltip, an empty tooltip. Let's go kill that bug. Find that bug, kill that bug. Yeah.
That's a bug.
I know. We're going to get it. Let's change the music after this song. Okay, so let's see. That's the tooltip. Tooltip, we're showing that. Are we showing that still from the main window? I think we are. Get tooltip. Well, we are saying if it's null or white space. Let's set a breakpoint here. Huh, we're not coming through this code to get it. Oh, that's a different one. Sorry, hold on. Let's go find that tooltip. Last parameter tooltip, that's this one. Here we go. Content is null. Okay. Are we just working with this thing now? Yeah. So let's figure out what we got to change here. Just so it's easier for me to read, I'm going to bring execution point up here and I'm going to clear the breakpoint. Show parameter tooltip. Yeah, actually, I think I can just get out of here faster just here. If it's null, then I think I'm out. Is that enough? Do I need to hide the existing one? Let's just do that code. All right, that's good. Okay, so now we have no empty parameter tooltips. Good. Okay, I'm gonna call that a show. Let's go raid somebody. Let's see who's out there right now. Give me a second to. What do we got? What do we got? All right. All right, I'm going to send you over to, I'm going to send you Bald Bearded Builder. All right, let's start that raid. Kids, thanks so much for joining us, for hanging out. We did some great code today with your help. Don't be afraid to ask questions anytime. Come back later. We'll talk to you. Yeah, Bald Bearded Builder. Here we go. Triple B. See you kids tomorrow.